Hello and welcome everybody to our Focus Board online workshop. I'm Julie Cliff. My business is Space and Time, and I welcome you all if you're here online. We've got a few people joining us, and I'm sure some more will come in soon. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, hello to you as well, because we are going to record this and share it. Just hoping that nobody else is in the waiting room. Throughout the session today, you can unmute yourself and ask questions if you're watching live, and also use the chat box. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can ask us questions as well. I can't reply to you instantly, obviously, but messages do come through when you're watching on YouTube. I get them as an email so I can reply to you. So we'd love to have your feedback and your input for the session, our Focus Board session today. As I said, my name is Julie Cliff. My business, Space and Time, helps people declutter and get organised. I call myself a professional organiser when I'm doing hands-on work decluttering, and a declutter coach when we're doing this type of online work where I'm passing on the skills and showing you how you can do it yourself. Either the decluttering your space or organising your time, which is sort of what we're focusing on more today, organising our time. Our business is just turning 10 this year, tomorrow actually, which is very exciting. Before that, I was an executive assistant and administrator for 20 years. So helping others get and stay organised is something that I love to do. I'm just going to turn my light up a bit brighter. That's a bit better. There's got a couple more people coming in the inbox, in the inside as well. Let's admit everybody. So helping people get and stay organised is something that I really enjoy doing. And I found a group of professional organisers 10 years ago and found out that this is a thing. People do go into people's homes and help them declutter and get organised. So I've been doing that for the last 10 years. Also married, a couple of teenagers, yeah, this is what I do as a job. It's very cool. So welcome to the people that have just come in. Great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us. Just started with the introductions. Many of you know who I am already, but if you don't, yeah, I'm Julie Cliff and my business is Space and Time. Let's keep moving on today. We are going to look at, as I said, creating a focus board. It's a little bit like a vision board, but done a little bit differently. What you'll need today is your handout. I hope you received that. I can't see it. There it is. I hope it looks a bit like that. Would have been emailed to you. Mary Lou might have the link for that as well, for the handout, if you haven't got it. And if you've got some magazines or something today, we can actually start. Who's chatting? I can hear somebody. Let me put everybody on mute. If you've got some magazines and coloured paper and that sort of things, you can actually start to create your own focus board today. So we'd love to do, start a bit of cut and paste. This is a little bit of an abridged version today. It is something that we do in a 2-hour session in person as well. So if you are in Melbourne and you'd like to join us, we've got a session coming up in person at the Alamein Neighbourhood and Learning Centre in a couple of weeks. So let us know if you're interested in continuing on. If you don't quite get it done today, come and join us in person. We'll have all the textures, all the magazines, all the coloured papers, all the little things to draw around. Where's my couple of cups? We just have like a little cup or something to be able to draw around so we can make these little discs that we're going to be looking at shortly. And yeah, it's a bit of fun. I will tell you all about the process as we go through it, because there is a method to all this madness. All right, let's have a quick look at the chat while we're going through. Thank you, Rebecca. She said, congratulations, Julie, for the 10 years. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep on moving. So what we're going to be looking at today with this focus board is simplifying our life by focusing on a few projects over the next 12 months, rather than trying to get everything done you've ever wanted to do, and you want to renovate the house and the kids are doing this and you're celebrating your 50th birthday and blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we can narrow it down a little bit. Surely all those things are important, but maybe we can sort of prioritize them a little bit and just focus on a few smaller amount of projects in the next 12 months so that we can have some really good success in achieving that. It says an hour and a half, but it's not an hour and a half today. It is an hour. So I look forward to presenting that to you between now and 11 o'clock. We will wrap up. Please ask any questions as we're going along. As I said, you can either ask in the chat or you can unmute yourself and call out if you've got any questions. And you can also start to create the little discs. So I'll tell you about that in a minute if you've got your paper and your pens and your project page. I can hear myself. That's terrible. Somebody, just make sure you're all muted, perhaps everybody, just so that I'm not hearing a reverb of my voice. Everybody hates their own voices. So yeah, we're going to be making the focus board shortly. And I'll just offer you to be able to continue ongoing with your focus after today as well. So this is going to be a fun session that we're going to do and come up with something pretty to focus on with our projects over the next 12 months. But it doesn't just stop today. We need to be able to put these projects into our life each and every day so that we can actually achieve them. You know, it doesn't magically just come off of the paper and into our life. We need to do some work to make that happen. So I've got a 6-week coaching course you could join, and we do an hour each week to continue working on these things. And also we have workshops like this each fortnight. So we'd love for you to continue to join us at these regular sessions. Mary Lou is just finding the handout, I think. Myra, thank you for letting us know that you didn't receive that. She'll pop it in the chat in a minute. Just keep an eye on that. So as I said, what to expect today, we want to simplify our life by understanding its complexity, understanding where all of these to-dos come from, you know, all the different hats that we wear and why are we so busy? We'll have a bit of a look at that. And we want to reflect also on why we take on too much. As I just said, identify the source of your to-dos, recognize distractions from new ideas, you know, those shiny objects. Gee, they can be tempting sometimes. Oh, I might start a new blog. Oh, I might start a new podcast. I might go and get a new job. You know, all these shiny things are very fun, but they can be very distracting and take us away from those works that we want to do. We'll also look at how we prioritize tasks on our 2025 page. We'll have a look at that in a moment, and integrate key projects into daily life. Let me just check the chat again. Thanks for the link, Mary Lou. And Fam says, I have those coloured paper and crayons. Good on you. Because you work with your grandson who started kindergarten this year. How cool, Fam. That's so exciting. So it's lovely to be getting back to the scissors and the paper and the crayons. It's absolutely what this is about today. So good. Sounds like you're going to have some fun. So here we go. What is a focus board? A focus board helps us with all these jingly, jumbly ideas, all these little discs on the left, all the ideas, the woulds, the shoulds, the coulds. I should eat this. I should make this much money. I should be doing this. The kids need to be doing that. So we're going to take all of those jumbled ideas and come up with some key things for us to focus on for the year. Doesn't it look a lot easier to look at on the right-hand side as opposed to all that jumble on the left? So this was my focus board last year and a couple of years before. It's always evolving and these sorts of things, but it gives you a little bit of an idea on what it might look like. This is still too many. I think we could reduce it down even more. But when you run a business and run a family and all those sorts of things, there are a lot of hats to wear and a lot of things to juggle, aren't there? So just to give you an idea, this is the sort of thing we're looking to produce today, coloured discs with some ideas written on them. So running my own business, there's focus on the team. I'm writing a book. We want to look at the HR for the team. We want to grow and all these sorts of things. So these were just and also I want to be proud of my boys' achievements, which I always am. That's what the orange is on that left-hand side of the screen. So it's just a great way to be able to be a little more focused and a little bit more strategic and making conscious choices with how we're using our time. So just quickly having a closer look at some of the things, things to do with the team, ways to make money, and being present, decisive, and inspiring. I'll just keep flicking through. Again, this was my board and what I've been working on. I have changed it again. I'm going to show you mine, but this is a beautiful one that another participant did in 2021 when we did it. So it would have been during lockdown, I think this one was done, and they did theirs on Canva. How good does that look? Just chose a few things to focus on for the year, and so that we're not just doing that mumble jumble that we saw at the start. It's quite a lot more focused. And this one, I don't think Jenny can join us today, but hello, Jenny. She's asked for the recording. This was hers that she did a couple of years ago as well. So she had some beautiful arts and crafts things from Kiki K that she put hers together. So awesome work. And I'm sure she will send me an updated one when she watches the recording after today. So I cheated. As I said, I was very naughty and I have not sat down with my texters and pens and things. I have actually just done mine on the projects page, and it's just sitting over to my left on my pin board with my other focus points for the year. So it's quite business focused, but there are some family things on there. So looking at health, balanced meal plan, adding weights to my morning exercises, and looking at a low or a slow carb diet, all the way through to relationships, weekly cooking with the boys. I'm glad I looked at that. I haven't invited the boys to be cooking with me lately. The teenagers are 15 and 19. They certainly can be helping out. Would like to join a singing group. I need to get in touch with my friend Anne-Marie and delegate 6 p.m. task, which is our time for getting our dinner ready. So as I said, I cheated. I just put mine on the projects page and did that in Canva. But I I will sit down and do the cut and paste as well. So let's get started. Let's start. If you are listening to me, you're there, you've got some paper, you've got some scissors and whatever you've got around. What you can do is you can just make little colored discs, as you saw on my pages, just from the magazines. Some of the white ones look nice. You can clearly write on and they look good on a page. Or you can look for specific pictures. When you do a normal vision board, you'd try and find the nice Swiss Alps that you want to visit or whatever. But I would get so frustrated when I was making those vision boards and waste so much time. It's just, I find it quicker. It's still fun. It's still inspiring. We're still coming up with the same result, well, close to a similar result, to write those special things on a pretty color piece of card. So as I said, you can use just block color or some white, some magazines, but don't get too pedantic. Like I said, there is method to our madness. We want to just sit, we want to think, we want all this to be a part of the process. Getting the scissors out and the textures and drawing around these little, this is my little one that I've drawn around many, many times to just make a nice little edge around those little discs. Get the texture, be mindful, going around, making it look neat and tidy, but not perfect. And then getting the scissors out. Like, we don't use scissors a lot these days. We're often doing media, online type things, but get the scissors out, breathe, enjoy the process of using, some creativity, But as I said, don't get too pedantic. I remember when I started putting this together about 5 years ago, my youngest son, Charlie, was helping me, and he was using this little cup, and he was getting the picture that he wanted to draw out, and he was getting it absolutely perfect in just the right spot. And I said, yeah, that is great, but you don't have to be too perfect with it. Let's just get it done. Let's make it fun, but don't worry yourself. We have so much in our life that we try and control and want to be perfect with, that this is not particularly, it doesn't have to be one of them. The idea of this focus board is to get it done rather than a half done project in the corner of the room. You may have a vision board at home that you never quite got to finish. So let's practice being imperfect. And there's no right and wrong way. You can do it however you want, but I love the idea of getting to the arts and crafts, the papers, the origami paper, the magazines, whatever it might be that you've got on hand. Let me just check the chat. Good on you, fam. She said, I start with jotting down the key items now. Please do write them down. Start to use your little page. If you have downloaded that projects page that I just showed, this is the old 2021. I didn't reprint it. I thought I didn't need to. Where are we? Come on. There. So start to write down your ideas in the projects now. What do you just do a bit of a brain dump to start with, and then we will start to refine them. So have also, as you're going along today, what are you keen to learn? What is it that you want to get out of the day, and how do you want your time to feel going forward? So this, as I said, my business space and time helps people declutter their space and their time. And we're really focusing on our time today and how we want to live our life. We want to run around like a headless chook, or would you like to have a little bit more ease and a bit more flow in your day? Still getting important things done, still achieving a lot, but making sure they are important. I'm just going to give you, it says 2 minutes there. I can give you 2 minutes. Whatever you've got in front of you, have a little think about what you're trying to achieve today. And also I'll stop talking for a couple of minutes so you can start to get your ideas or your head around the ideas. Start to fill in that projects page if you hadn't had a chance. And also, as I said, continue on with those discs. I'm going to put a timer on for 2 minutes. Let's create a new timer. Let's add one. I haven't done a 2-minute timer for a little while. And I'm just going to have a little breather myself. 2 minutes is on. So this is all about what would you like to learn today, doing the projects page if you haven't, and also starting to do the discs. Looking forward to hearing how you go. So that's 1 minute gone. We've got 45 seconds to go, and then we'll move on to the next slide. All right, 10 seconds. All right, that's 2 minutes. So that's just a nice opportunity for us to just to stop and have a breather, and me as well. So we can just, let's just bring the mood down. Let's, start to bring that calm and that, the right energy into this board that we want, because like I said, we're not trying to put 100 discs on this board. We want some really important things, because there's just not enough hours in the day to be able to get too many things done, particularly all at the same time. Rebecca says, I have to acknowledge that I can't do everything that I want. There are not enough hours in the day. Rebecca, you just took the words out of my mouth. I said that out loud before I looked at your message. So true. There might be an opportunity at some stage for you to get everything done, but we can't get it all done at once, can we? So we want to have a think about what those important things are and prioritize them and focus on them. I was just looking at this handful of discs that I have here. I've used them as well in different ways, sort of like post-it notes or reminders to myself, or to be looking at things, when you're trying to focus on a task during the day. This one says, reply to Ingrid's podcast. That was a couple of years ago. I did a podcast with my friend Ingrid Galloway. She's a relationship coach. And so I was just using them sort of like post-it notes as well. So after you've done the board today, keep going with the scissors and the fun creative stuff, because they're quite handy little things for little note discs or little notelets. They're quite handy. Lynn, love it, thinking about values for prioritizing. Yeah, what do you value? What are your main values? What are those priorities that you're working towards? Absolutely. Love that idea. So I'm glad we just had that couple of minutes breather so that I could just stop and recenter, and then we can continue on. So why do we have so much on our to-do list? Would love to hear your thoughts. What are the sort of main hats that you wear? I'm a mum, I'm a business owner. They're the main ones that I wear at the moment. Other times it's been like class rep when the kids were at school and you're helping with newsletters and all those things. But if the kids are bigger, I don't really need to worry about that before. I've done different volunteering of other part-time roles while I was doing my business. So there's been lots of hats. So I'd love to hear what hats you are wearing. And I think that may give us an idea as to why there are so many things on our to-do list. But I want to ask you, what would your week look like if you took time out of your day to do nothing? Just like we did then for 2 minutes, just to stop and breathe. It's just so invigorating. It's a little bit like mindfulness and meditating, that we just stop and let thoughts come and go in our mind. And then along the good ones come. We give our brains the time for the important projects to rise and the others just to float away. So I really love that idea of scheduling some quiet time for our brains to be able to regenerate and rest. So that I highly recommend the idea of scheduling time out to do nothing and quiet time. And this is all amongst all our to-dos. It's really important. And that last dot point says, what if we just focused on a few things at a time? So as we would have heard over recent years, multitasking doesn't really exist. We all like to think, oh yeah, I'm a great multitasker. But what that often means is we're just quite good at switching between one task and the other, but our brain is not really that good at it. Our brain is much better focusing on one project at a time, get that done, move on to the next one, because it really does take us quite a bit of time to shift gear from one project to the other. So that's the idea of this focus board today as well, is so that we have less things to focus on at a time. Let me quickly go back to the chat. Thanks, Van, for your input. Only managed to jot down 2 minutes the important items of health, healthy food, keep walking, love it, reduce screen time. Shouldn't we all put that on the list? Relationship and connections, listened attentively, love it, time with the grandkids, keep in touch with friends. Yeah, that's hard sometimes, but we need to put the time into it. help when I can, and personal developments, keep learning. Good on you. Thank you. There's some awesome things on there. And we can continue to look at that list today as you're going through to, I think they are really important, but which are the most important ones? Rebecca, I hear you. She says, I have difficulty saying no. I love it. I think we will talk a little bit more about saying no in a second when we're looking at shiny objects. So I'll come up with some more ideas on that. But no is a complete sentence. We don't need to explain ourselves to people. We can just say, no, I can't do that. It's really hard, and you can just zip your mouth once you've said it. We don't need to give excuses, and don't even say, I can't do that right now. It's like, no, I can't do that. So we can practice it later on. Oh, here we are, shiny objects. She's ahead of the ball again. Shiny objects, it's very easy to get distracted by new ideas and people wanting a piece of you, saying, oh, can you do this for me? The school fate's coming up. We need to fundraise for this. We need to do this. It's so easy to get distracted by other people's agendas. And I love that Rebecca came up with that. No is difficult, but hopefully the idea is let's put this page together. And if it's not on our page, it's a no. Anything else that comes up, it's a no. Other people asking. And even if you come up with a new idea yourself, like I said before, let's start a new podcast. Well, if a podcast is coming in, something else has to go out. The old one in, one out rule. We can't keep adding more things to our project page. So, coming up with the ideas is the easy and the fun part. And I think sometimes when we get asked to do things, we feel obliged, we feel like we should do it. And sometimes it can be a little bit of a scapegoat to, get out of doing that difficult work or the work that puts these ideas into fruition. So staying focused by regularly reviewing our focus board is something that we want to keep a focus on today. So what did you come up with on your page? Thanks, Pam, for sharing your bits. Pop in the chat if you've got some other ideas that you've put on there, or if you've got some out there ideas. You want to write a book, you want to go to the moon, show me some big ones as well. But keep showing me the little ones as well, because, the big ones are hard work sometimes. So those little ones are so important. Watching what we eat, being healthy, doing, being with our loved ones, spending time with the grandkids, your friends and family. That's what it's all about. And if we don't get that on the page and we don't get it in the diary, it just doesn't happen. And also interested in one category outweigh the other. So when I showed you mine before, a lot of it is to do with my business. Considering my teenagers are 15 and 19, I don't need to help them so much as I used to. So I'm very lucky that I can focus on a lot of my own things. So yes, a lot of the categories are business related, and they certainly outweigh a lot of the others. But I do make time every morning. I'm up at 5:35 every day. The alarm goes off to do my weights, do my walk, go for a run, go up to the bakery to get whatever we need for lunch for the day. And that happens each weekday, and it does happen on the weekends, but a bit later. I don't get up quite so early. So although the category of the business outweighs a lot of my time during the day, my health and my well-being is absolutely forefront, particularly in the mornings. And I really need to stay fit and healthy to do the job that I do. I was in a garage yesterday. It was quite hot. It was physical, lifting things and all the rest of it. So it's imperative that I stay fit and healthy. So, and I'm sure there's reasons for you to be fit and healthy in your day-to-day, like even just driving the car and doing a good head check. We need to be limber enough to do that, particularly as we're aging. So focus on these big things that make a big difference to our lives is so important. And we haven't really prioritized yet, but I think it's going to be tricky to just whittle all those ideas down to just 9. But let's see how we go before the end of the session. So, Myra, good on you. Myra has written Family History, Complete My Mum's Book. Yes, good on you. That will certainly take some good focus and some good scheduling, and wish you all the best with that. All right, let's keep moving on. So if you haven't had a chance to do your projects page, yeah, we've got another 5 minutes to do some of this admin that we haven't done so far. I'm going to give you another 5-minute timer. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a second and give you 5 minutes. If you haven't done that page, just the idea is, I think at the start, is to just brain dump in these different categories: the health, the finances, spirituality and community, personal development, romance. Mine says, I think we might have tweaked it since then, business, relationships, business, professional and fun. So keep jotting down your ideas on that page or in your notebook. And if you have finished that page, you can continue to make some discs now. As I said, I'm going to put the timer on for 5 minutes and give you another go. Well, good on you. So I'm just going back to the chat. Lynn says she wants to finish her completing her will and final directives. That is really something that we all need to spend time on, isn't it? To make sure that we have a living will, which in the final directives, and a will for people to read when we are no longer here. You know, all of those things where what sort of ceremony do you want to have? How do your assets get split? All of those things that Lynn is referring to. So I think that's a great one to focus on and get that done. I need to do that myself. So I squeeze that on my page somewhere. All right, 5 minutes. 5 minutes starting now. I will be back in 5. Keep the chat coming. I'll keep looking at that. But I'll keep quiet for a bit and leave you to it for 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. I'd love to hear from you in the chat what you have written on your projects page. But let's keep moving. Keep sharing in the chat. You know, what have you put in health, finances, spirituality and community, personal development, relationships, business, professional, and fun? Hop in the chat and share with us. And also now I'd like you to make some time in the next 48 hours to actually finish off your focus board, because you might have made a good start on it today. But yeah, put some time in the calendar, right, in your paper diary or in your Google Calendar, whatever calendar you use, and actually block out some time, half an hour, a couple of hours, for you to really be able to get this done and on the wall, so that you can, you know, really start to put it into your life. We won't take another 2 minutes. We will keep moving, but we'd love to see your final board once you're finished with it. Send it through to me, take a photo of it, something like that, julie@spaceandtime.com.au. I'd love to see it. Oh, good on you, Myra. She's shared something she's put in for fun, choir, board games, cards, drawing, art, finish embroideries, reading and dancing. Sounds like a lot of fun. Good on you. Get it in the, you know, get some fun into your life. I love it. And when we've finished creating the focus board, we want to put it somewhere that we see it often. As I said, I've got it over on my left where I've got some other 2025 action items and my daily tasks, as well as some spider webs that just caught my eye, so that it's in your face often. But you could have it even closer to your face, like beside your mirror in the bathroom or inside your wardrobe, displayed in your office. Let me know where you think you'll put yours. I did have one person that did this workshop a while ago said that she had a lot of personal things written on it. So she was going to put it on the inside of her wardrobe so she could see it, but other people in the home could not see it. And when I said sort of personal things, it was like, you know, relationship building with people within her family. So she thought if people saw that written there, they might get a bit offended. So if she could just sort of quietly work on that and have it as a reminder inside her wardrobe, she would see it every day as she gets ready for work. That would work for her. But I would love to know, where do you think you put it so that you can see it every day? And so it's going to be a part of your daily routine. Pip says that for personal development, she wrote journaling and reflective practice. I love it. Get the thoughts out of your mind, Pip, and onto a piece of paper. It's very therapeutic, isn't it? Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. So yeah, let us know, where will you put your focus board? And let's have a look at some daily maintenance, like how can we get the projects off of the page right here and into your life. So what we could do as well is write it down as a clear intention to the universe that this is what you're doing. Now, I was going to get my notebook out before and I did not. I have not done it for a while. Let me have a quick look here. Excuse me a sec. I can't put my hand on it, but I do have one. Hang on, I will look. I will find it. One moment, one moment. Oh gosh, I just dropped my little cup. Oh, that's a big noise. Is it this one? No, that's Morning Pages. No, that's not one. But I have a notebook somewhere like this one, and I used to write my daily intentions every day in the mornings, just the top 9, and I'd write them as though they had already happened. Like, I am an exceptional keynote speaker, and I would write that down. And I am present and calm with my family, whatever it might be. Write it as though it's already happened. Make it clear to the universe, clear to yourself every morning. It could be a part of your morning pages, your morning routine. and so that you're setting yourself a clear intention of what you're doing for the day, what you're working towards. So specifically, you might not be working on all of those 9 things every day, but it's still a great way, as I said, to just remind yourself what we're working on. I wish I could find it, but it's not here. But I would do that each morning. I haven't made time to do that for a little while, but it was very effective at the time, to be very clear on what we're doing. And stay focused. As we were saying before about shiny objects, now that we've got it on our page, we can say no to any tasks that are outside of these projects. And again, no is a complete sentence. I know it can be tricky when people are asking for things. You could even show them your focus board if you felt like you needed to explain yourself, but I don't know if anyone uses ChatGPT, the AI that helps you with word processing and that sort of thing. I would ask ChatGPT, and I have before, but I haven't got it to hand. Ask it for 10 ways to say no nicely, and it would come up with some great ideas for you. So stay focused on your projects, not what other people want you to do. And if it's anything that's outside of what's written on here, it's a no. Let's just quickly check the chat. Lovely. Pip says, can you please explain briefly why you write intentions as if they've already happened? You write them as though they've already happened because your brain and your mind doesn't know the distinction between, past, present, future. So if you've written them as though they'd already happened, well, it starts to believe it. So rather than I want to be the best speaker, best public speaker, it is I am a phenomenal keynote speaker. So sometimes those sorts of things do really take you a bit of time to convince yourself, but I am, not I am working towards, or I want to be one day, I am. And it's the same as any of those sorts of affirmations. I am calm, I am wealthy, I am wise, those sorts of things. And we are calm, we are wealthy, we are wise. But depending on the level that you want to do, absolutely, Pip, yeah, for confidence and self-belief, absolutely. So that we are those things that we're working towards. Yeah, thanks for asking. You are welcome. All right, let's keep on moving on. So that was, we were writing them down as they've already happened, so to help keep us focused. But we can also set reminders in our phone and act on them. So it might be, I need to spend some time writing my book, or doing the family history, those sorts of things, some of the projects that people have already shared with us. Put time in the diary, as I said, literally schedule it out. I'll show you some more examples of that in a second. And just remind yourself every now and then that that's what you're working on. And don't just let it go beep, beep, beep. Oh yeah, snooze, snooze, I'll get to it. Jump up from what you're doing. I know sometimes we can't in the middle of something, but really be mindful and take it seriously. Taking myself seriously is something that is one of my sort of key things to be doing this year. Taking the business seriously, taking my health seriously. And that's not like, oh yeah, I'd like to be a bit fitter. It's like, no, I'm taking this seriously. This is really important to me. So use some of those reminders. When they go off, act on them. And you can always also use your, hang on a sec, just close these things. Use your locked screen. Here we are. Put a picture on there of what the main thing is you're focusing. So I've just got human resources on there. A bit boring. It's not what I normally have on there. Human resources, contractors, documents, and processes manual. So if that is the most important thing to be working on my business at the moment, every time you pick up the phone, that's the thing. So if it's family history or catching up with friends, that what you wanted to do, text someone. As soon as you pick up the phone and you see that, text someone or make a call to someone. Take it seriously stay focused by using that lock screen. You'll be able to Google how to do it, but it's very easy to be able to change those things on your lock screen. And also schedule project work at your best time of day. As I said before, I'm a morning person. My project work is usually 7:30 in the morning. That's when I sit down to write my book or any other major projects. There's a little bit of movement around the house. The kids are sort of starting to move around. My husband's probably just getting up, but it's still quiet. I'm still energized, but don't ask me to do anything at 8:30 at night. You know, that's when I'm starting to wind down. Bedtime's 9:30 for me. So you find the time that's going to work for you to work on these scheduled projects. So you may be a nighttime person, but maybe don't do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe 10 o'clock at night. Maybe you might sit down for an hour on the family history. But find that right time of day when you're at your best, when you've got the best energy to be able to work on these things. So this is an awesome way to stay focused and make time for those important projects. When Mary Lou's available, she will pop the link to this planner in the chat so that you can get hold of it. This is a great way to be able to stay focused on your project. So put your work hours or your working on the business hours in there. Put your exercise time in there. Put your hanging out with the grandkids. Put your family history project on there. Put your fun in there. Put your choir sessions in there. Literally schedule the time, write it down, or you will, there's just not time. There's only 168 hours there. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. That's all there is for the whole week. And that's not just a waking hours. So literally schedule it out. I do this often with clients, and it's very effective to help them schedule out their time, put in that quiet time as well, traveling between appointments, those sorts of things. But my week, I use a Google Calendar to do this, but all of my clients are in. They're all blocked in. Travel time is in. The exercise is in. Note writing after clients is in there. So when you have a lot to do, we really want to be focused on those important things. So this is a great way to be able to schedule it. So grab yourself a copy with that link that Mary Lou just popped in there. And yeah, I think you'll find that very helpful to schedule in the important time to get these projects done. All right, nearly done. We also want to create a surroundings to support these things that you are working on. So we want to take a moment to reflect on your home environment. So if you had health and well-being on your board, you might want to start to think about what's in your pantry, or how is your kitchen set up? Have you got a nice bowl of fruit on the kitchen bench so that it's easier to grab that than a bag of chips? You know, so start to declutter your spaces around you and build your systems around your home environment so that these things have more of an opportunity to actually come into fruition. So it might be, again, thinking of health and well-being and healthy eating. Set up a weekly meal plan, and then from the weekly meal plan, create your shopping list. And just buy what's on your shopping list and just eat what's on your shopping list so that you can start those systems to support what you're trying to achieve. You know, if you do need a few snacks in the house, well, that's good, but it's better to not have them at all. I decided 4 years ago that I was not going to drink anymore, but there is still alcohol in the house. That's not a problem for me. I just decided it's not for me, and I haven't touched it since. It was just, it's that easy step for me because I just decided, no, not doing it anymore. I appreciate and understand it's not quite so easy for people, but again, I took it seriously. It doesn't need to be a part of my life. But for some people, like I said, having alcohol in the house might be difficult if they're not drinking anymore. But thinking, what are these systems that you need to set up? You know, have you got a nice spot to sit down and do the work, to do the journaling, to do the drawing? Or do you have to, you know, sweep everything off the kitchen table every time you want to sit down and do that? So have a good think about your home environment. And also consider what you surround yourself with daily. Those areas that you spend a lot of time in, see if they need a good declutter. And with your newfound clarity, ask yourself, does my stuff support my organized life? What else can you get rid of from around the house that you don't need anymore, that you can easily let go because it's not relevant to how you want to live your life now? So the last bit of time, I'll just give you another couple of minutes at the end here. The last page on the handout is a commitment chart. And it says that in the next 15 minutes, I am going to accomplish, and you write in there, in the next hour, I am going to da la la, and in the next 24 hours, etc. So you can complete that commitment chart so that, again, you've got more chance of making this happen by writing down this commitment. And you could hang that beside your focus board as well, so that you keep focused on it. So just in the last couple of minutes, as I'm wrapping up and finishing up, you could start to complete your commitment chart. What are you going to do to get this done, to finish your chart, and also to start putting things into practice? So in summary, we want to be mindful of where our to-dos come from and avoid unnecessary tasks. We want to say no more often. Stay focused by scheduling time daily to work on our projects. We talked about using that weekly planner to do that, or your Google Calendar. Literally put it in the diary. As I said at the start when I introduced myself, I was an administrator and executive assistant for 20 years before starting my business, and worked with an executive assistant and CEO at Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club. And I used to say to those two gentlemen, if it's not in the diary, it does not exist. I don't know about it to be able to remind you, to help you book flights around it, to make reservations for you. So it was always their job to tell me so I could put it in the diary. This is the days before, you know, online calendars. So if it's not in the diary, it doesn't exist. So get those important projects into your diary and write your projects as if they've already, you've already achieved them to reinforce your commitment. Use reminders to pop up and go bing and take action. Use the lock screen and create intentional spaces to stay on track, and ensure your physical environment supports your organized approach to life. So really have a good look around you and start to declutter so that your physical environment supports this great work that we are focusing on. Lynn, you are welcome. She says, thank you, Julie. I really need to hear that there is only so much time and I need to set priorities. Is there a better app than Google Calendar? No, there is not a better app than Google Calendar. It is the one and the only. That's the only one I use, Lindley. There are a billion out there, but I just find that if I need to do something, I will put it in, literally schedule 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the calendar to get it done. You and I can talk about that more, or you can talk to Rach about it, but I just love Google Calendar's simplicity. And I think sometimes the more complicated we make it, it just gets too hard. Of course, keep yourself a separate to-do list. And I think this focus board becomes a part of your to-do list, but keep it simple. But yeah, I like Google Calendar. So, but other people, if you've got some ideas, feel free to pop them in the chat now for Lindley and let her know what you're using to keep yourself organized. All right, so the Stay Focused program is a 6-week coaching program, one-on-one Zoom sessions with myself, 1 hour each week for 6 weeks, and a 15-minute Save Me call. So if you get stuck, you're really in a bind somewhere and it's not quite our time to do that next one-on-one session, there's a 15-minute Save Me call. You can just call up or make a time. There's a workbook and a 30-day checklist, also a private Facebook group. Total value is $15.29, but for today, I'd love to offer it to you guys for $897. So as I said, that's 1 hour over 6 weeks. So the idea is for us to start work on these projects. How do we continue to make it focused? Is your calendar just not working? Can we rearrange the calendar? Can we drop some things off the calendar? Can we say no to some things? We can help you continue to work through what you are committed to and what you're focused on, and make sure it happens, so that in 12 months' time, we can go tick, tick, and get a lot of those things off of your list. So we'd love for you to join that program. We will have another workshop in a couple of weeks' time. We're just finalising the details. We'll email it out to everybody when the next one is scheduled. They're usually every fortnight, but we will let you know when that's happening. Thanks, Mary Lou. She has shared the Get and Stay Focused coaching program. You are welcome, fam. Thanks for coming. Thanks, everybody else, for coming along. Let me stop my share. We are perfectly on time. How good is that? But I really appreciate you all being here and your input. It's always exciting to have people's real life examples of what they want to work on. As I said, make some time in the next 24, 48 hours to get it done. Send a copy through to me. We'd love to see it. And we can continue to be accountability buddies and get the things done. And yeah, keep me updated on how it is all going. All right, we look forward to seeing you at the next session. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. Thanks, fam. Bye, Rebecca. Thanks, Nerida. Thank you, everyone. Bye, Myra. Take care. Bye for now.